Hey guys, so I'm outside, it's raining, I'm in the woodshed out of the rain, and you'll have to excuse all the clutter in the background, but it's storage. I wanted to talk briefly about preferences today, because I think preferences are like an important topic of discussion, yet not commonly considered very exciting, or they're not given much thought. A preference initially could be something as simple as taste, or clothing, or bedtime. It could be candy flavors. It could be the type of movies you like. It could be the type of people you hang out with, although that's beginning to get a little more serious. But I like to think of preferences as layered. And where there are layers, you can always peel one back and go deeper. So friend group is deeper. Preference in spending, say, your money habits. Preference in work. Preference in belief and value. And back to the friend group, the type of person who you prefer to be around. And then a little bit deeper, and you might have preferences that you don't fully understand. Things you just intuitively feel that you like or dislike. And that's where I want to really put the focus and emphasis today. I've been reading and learning and thinking about preferences on that level because they are so important when it comes to behaviors. Behaviors in regards to something you want to accomplish. I believe that much of the behaviors we act out have been taught to us by the school system, our family, parents, brothers and sisters, and older generations. Largely the people that we hang out with. Those are the people who teach us to behave in a certain way. And if you want to go into social dynamics, you could argue that behaving in a certain way is largely in part because we want to fit in with our chosen tribe of people. And then the flag goes up. Who is your tribe? And how did you choose those people? And preferences are kind of confusing in that sense because they're not conscious. A lot of them are not conscious. Their behaviors and gut feelings, their intuitive senses that we have about things or about people or about situations. And so we develop preferences around how we intend to spend our time, who we spend our time with. And these preferences define who we are. I think that makes pretty good sense, and people could use that as a launching point for further discussion. Preferences define who we are. Now that you understand that there are levels and layers to preferences. So, I want to ask the question, if preferences are who we are, is it possible to create new preferences? And I think yes. I think the answer is yes. And I believe that for a couple reasons. The first reason is you might not feel like things are right where you are. And so you spend time and energy to search the world for someone or something that seems interesting to you. You might look for a purpose. You might call it looking for your purpose. And when we do that, we open up the potential to find a new tribe, or a tribe who we fit in with, who is already acting out and behaving in a way that we appreciate, that we enjoy, that we see ourselves becoming. And then arguably, the more time that you spend with that tribe, the more you become like that tribe. You fit in with those people. And just to jump back to social dynamics for a second, I always think of high school when I think of tribe, because it's the first time in a person's life where you are driven with almost blind enthusiasm to fit in. And not everyone, I'm not speaking for everybody, but my personal experience was that I really wanted to fit in, and that I observed a lot of other people doing this behavior. And so I searched for a tribe, and I found that tribe. So that's a good example, and one hopefully a couple people viewing this can connect with. So you might search for a tribe, and you might find a tribe. The second reason is that you may have some sort of event that happens that is so far outside of your known zone of behavior that you just can't comprehend it without asking the question, does this fit into my overall preference architecture? And you might have a real hard time coming to a place of, we'll say, neutrality or peace, because it might be something that you want to fit in, and you don't understand why you want it, because it doesn't fit in with your tribe, with your preferences that you've been taught. And so you're forced to ask the question, is it possible to create new preferences? And honestly, I think it's not necessarily a complicated thing. You can create new preferences by pure discipline, having an interest in something and getting good enough at it that it becomes enjoyable. Like handstands. You know, I didn't start being able to hold a handstand. I wasn't born that way. I had to create it and discipline myself long enough so that now I prefer to do handstands because I know that I'm decent at them. And when it comes to building new behaviors, learning new, more effective behaviors, which commonly, I think, would be in the world of money, because it's pretty clear. It's a popular discussion point, I think, probably to discuss the either understanding of and proficiency in finance versus this sort of fear of finance that many, like myself, have been taught through no fault of my own or my family, but through the preferences that the people I have spent time with up to this point in my life have influenced me. And again, I think we should stress that it's not anybody's fault. It's not a situation of blame. Blame is an ineffective way, and it's for a different conversation. But without blaming, we have the behaviors and preferences that we have because of who we've spent time with, and it's our responsibility to take ownership of that and realize and then actually go through with creating new preferences that are more effective in regard to the things we want to do. Which goes back to recognizing something you want but you don't understand it fully because it doesn't fit into your architecture of preference that exists currently or in the people of the tribe that you are with. So I hope that wasn't too complicated, but it's an idea that I spend time thinking about quite a bit, and actually can get me quite down. So maybe I'd be curious to know who else kind of thinks about the same stuff and what they've done about it, if anything. And if you enjoy asking questions that are deeper than that first level of preference, like what food do you enjoy most, let me know in the comments below. I'd really love to hear what you're thinking about. As always, subscribe, hit the like button. It really helps the videos. Lets me know that we're doing a good job here. And hit the bell for future videos as well. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.